Alright, well 2015 is over, as you saw with my top 10 movies of 2015 list. So now 2016 is here, and here's the first movie of 2016. Like years before it, well actually several years now, we're getting another war picture. So here we go. "13 Hours, The Secret Soldiers of Benghazi." Guys, gals, and everything in between. So 13 Hours, The Secret Soldiers of Benghazi is the war biopic directed by Michael Bay about that thing that happened in 2012 with Benghazi. This is a very recent war picture. I mean, this is like, it just happened. This is still an open wound. For those of you who are watching it outside of the United States, this is a very fresh wound for us because there is a certain someone who is running for President of the United States who is under investigation for some things that involve this. But luckily the movie doesn't go into the politics of that because that would cause a little bit more controversy right now. But yeah, so I'm not gonna name names, but yeah. So, Michael Bay, he has had a pretty bad track record. So I was really nervous going into this film. And how did it fare? Well, this movie, it started 2016 with a boom. This is a fantastic movie. Not only is it a fantastic movie, but it is one of Michael Bay's best movies. And in my opinion, it's actually my favorite of his because he makes a serious movie. Michael Bay took a camera now and says, I'm gonna make a real movie. Yes, The Rock is a good movie. I actually am not partial to Bad Boys. But this one, he actually makes a real movie with real characters and takes on a biopic and does it in good taste, unlike that piece of garbage, Pearl Harbor. He gets you in on the action, and that's one thing I loved about this film, is Michael Bay takes you in and he had very close-up, intimate shots, so while you're in the firefight, he's not doing a lot of his swooping upward shots where the camera's like rotating on a helicopter around the battlefield. A lot of it is like from the, like a shoulder perspective of many of the soldiers. There's some GoPro shots in there, but he doesn't overuse them. He of course has his typical Michael Bay oversaturation, but in the heat of the desert, it actually worked for this film. Michael Bay, as much as I can't believe I'm saying it, did a great job with this movie. Steven Spielberg intentionally didn't want giant helicopter or crane shots for Schindler's List because he wanted to tell it from the perspective. Michael Bay does the same thing here, where almost all of his shots, I mean there are still some of those helicopter shots, but he tells it from the perspective of the people, which is also another strength the movie has because it is subject to controversy. This did just recently happen. It is under investigation, like the actual event, but he leaves the politics out of it and he lets you live it through the eyes of the soldiers who didn't know all of that background emails and all of that was going on. It is just from the perspective of the soldiers and what they had to do. I always forget the guy's name, but the main star of the film is that guy from Something Borrowed, I believe The Office, and he does an amazing job taking on something other than that quirky guy in a romantic comedy. He plays an actual role where he has character development, he has deep layers. Of course, they naturally have, dare I say, the cliches of a war picture with the guy with the family that he has to get home to and all of that. But the crazy thing is that this actually happened, and as you're watching this movie and you're seeing the action unfold or you're seeing the characters like with fear, like this happened to them, so you can't help but feel like you are in this situation. I mean, I was on the edge of my seat and I was getting emotional at times. What Michael Bay does with his cinematography and just the way the characters are, you get to know them really well. And so as they're on a roof and they're talking to each other, you're like, yeah, this is how they talk to each other. And then as they're crying, you start to well up because you feel it. You understand what they're going through. They're going through hell and back. This is one of the scariest events that anybody, I would die, just saying, I would die. My kill-death ratio in Rainbow Six Siege, no, I'd be dead. These people are heroes, and Michael Bay does a great job at conveying their heroism. And all of his cliches that he does works perfectly for it. Whether it be the slow-mo, or following a bomb or some kind of weapon, or just the long shots of you see a character and the camera just kind of tracks past him. It all works so well. And the last shot of the film is one of the most beautiful pieces of imagery I have seen in a war picture. This is a fantastic war film. I mean, I was shocked because I'm not a Michael Bay fan, so I was like, oh, they're gonna really do this film in bad taste. I mean, I saw Pearl Harbor. But no, this film does it right. And he does it, he holds himself back enough that you're able to be like, okay, so there's some Bay-isms here, but it works because this actually happened. And it blew my mind. These people are heroes, and the ones who died, it was tragic to watch the characters die because you know that they died, and that's just hard to watch, but at the same time it is important. I think every American should watch this film. I think it's important that they need to see this. It doesn't have the political ideologies in it. As I said, you live through the eyes of the soldier, which is a strength for this film. And it's just something that you should see and understand what these people went through. And so to all of our soldiers out there, thank you for your service. You guys are real heroes. You guys are the heroes that I dream about in action movies every day. You guys are the ones who actually make the real difference. So thank you guys. Anyways, my score for this film is, I have to say, in terms of a war picture, that 2016 is off to a boom. And why do I say a boom? Because 13 Hours, The Secret Soldiers of Benghazi is a future classic. I never thought I would give it that high of a score, but the more I thought about the film, is I sat there and I was like, this is a beautiful picture. It is an important war film. It is an important film like Black Hawk Down. It is something that you should watch. So, what did you guys think? Did you guys enjoy it? What's your favorite war picture? And is there a director that you actually would want to see direct a war picture? Don't forget to like and subscribe. Got plenty more videos to you. 2016's off to a great start. Love you guys.